Hello students. So today now we are going to discuss about common source amplifier characteristics, or so commonly we call it as a FET amplifier. So generally used configuration for FET is the common source configuration. So generally FET amplifiers are common source amplifiers. So that is why we are calling it as a FET amplifier. Okay. Now, so here today our aim is to plot the frequency response of a FET amplifier in the common source configuration and also to find the voltage gain of this amplifier, and from that we can also calculate the bandwidth using the frequency response plot. Now, in order to find the frequency response of this FET amplifier, so the apparatus required is DC regulated power supply, that is RPS, so from 0 to 30 volts variation, and a transistor, FET transistor, field effect transistor, BFW11 here I am using. So this one number I need. Next, resistors 47 kilo ohms, 2.2 kilo ohms and 1 kilo ohm. Coming to the capacitors, 3 number capacitors are required, which are having the value 10 microfarad. And in order to give the input signal, I require a function generator. And to observe the output waveform, I need a CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope, and probes to connect this CRO and also the function generator. Next, in order to connect the components and transistor, I require the connecting wires. So these are the apparatus required. So I need DC regulated power supply, transistor, resistors, capacitors, function generator to give input, CRO to observe the output, and the connecting wires. So this FET amplifier is designed using these resistors and capacitors, so that these resistors are required to fix the operating point for the transistor, so that we will get the maximum amplification. Coming to the capacitors, capacitors at the input and output side are required in order to avoid the DC component whichever is coming from external sources, so that only AC signal will be amplified. And at the source side we are using a capacitor CS. So this capacitor CS bypasses the resistor RS for AC signal. Now, so this is the transistor BFW11. So this transistor has 4 terminals. Okay, so you can see the notch here. So from bottom view, after the notch, if you look from clockwise direction, so first terminal is the source, second terminal is the drain, third terminal is the gate. Source, drain, gate, clockwise direction. And there is also fourth terminal, so this is a body, so this is not connected. Okay, we have only 3 terminals which are needed to connect to this circuit. So clockwise direction from the bottom view, source, drain and gate. Now here this is the circuit I have connected in the breadboard. Now you can see this is the transistor. So always the 3 terminals of the transistor must be connected in 3 different lines. So here, so from the notch, this is a source terminal. So this is connected in one vertical line. Next, drain is connected in the other vertical line, and the gate is connected in the other vertical line. Now, so for this source, now you can see from this circuit diagram, so for the source you have to connect 1 kilo ohm to the ground. So from source, this is 1K resistor, I am connecting it to ground. So here this from the bottom section I assume this top line as the ground. So here I have connected 1 kilo ohm from source terminal to ground, and also from source terminal I have 10 microfarad capacitor, so which is connected to ground. So positive terminal, that is having lengthy wire, so that lengthy terminal, so that one I am connecting it to the source, and the other shorter one I am connecting to the ground. Next, so to the input side, so that is for gate, because for common source amplifier, source is common between input and output. So input signal is applied to the gate and output is taken from the drain. Now for the input side, that is for the gate, now I have from gate to ground I have 47 kilo ohms. So this is source, drain and gate. So from gate terminal I am connecting 47 kilo ohms to ground, so this line. And from the same gate I have 10 microfarad capacitor. So same terminal gate I have connected 10 microfarad capacitor. Now the other end of at the other end of this capacitor I need to connect the input voltage. So from the function generator. So this input voltage VI is 50 millivolts peak to peak, and so this has to be given from the function generator. So at this point I have to connect the positive terminal of the function generator, negative of the function generator should be connected to the ground. And coming to the drain, so the output side here, so now we have the 2.2 kilo ohm resistor. So this is the drain terminal. So from here 2.2, the same vertical line you have to see here, 2.2 kilo ohm resistor, I am connecting it to one top line. So here for this top line I will connect the source, regulated power supply, which is 12 volts. So here I have to connect a positive of, because this is plus 12 volts, I have to connect a positive of RPS whose value is 12 volts to this point, to this line, and the negative of this RPS has to be connected to ground. And at the drain I have 10 microfarad capacitor. So at the drain I have connected 10 microfarad capacitor, and from the other end, so we have to take the output voltage. So that means output voltage will be observed in CRO. That means from CRO, positive of the CRO probe has to be connected to this end of the capacitor, and negative of the CRO probe has to be connected to the ground. So in order to plot the frequency response, we have to give the input signal, so which is a sinusoidal waveform. So first we need to set the input waveform from the function generator. So this is the function generator. Now you can see the function here, that is a sinusoidal waveform, and the frequency here around 1 kilohertz. Okay, so 1112, that is around 1 kilohertz. And now here the output of this function generator, now I am connecting to the CRO. Now in CRO, now you can observe the waveform here. So it is having one unit. So in this y-axis, so that is 1 into, and the volts per division here for this channel 1, here I have connected to channel 1. So for volts per division here is 50 millivolts. So 1 unit into 50 millivolts, that is equal to 50 millivolts. So here peak to peak voltage I have set initially as 50 millivolts and 1 kilohertz. And if you want to change the amplitude in the function generator, now we have the knobs available. You have to rotate this amplitude knob, and if you want to change the frequency, we have this frequency knob. So frequency knob, and also we have the ranges here. So by pressing this button, the frequency will be divided by 10, and by pressing this button the frequency will be multiplied with 10. And also we can change the value of the frequency by rotating this knob. Now this input signal, now I am connecting to the circuit, and the output I am taking from the capacitor, which is connected across the drain. Now So you have to connect the RPS, regulated power supply. So positive of that is connected to this top line I told earlier, and the negative is connected to the ground. And you can see the input signal connection here. So from the function generator, positive of the function generator, that is input signal, is connected to this capacitor which is connected across the gate, and negative is connected to the ground. And so the output here I am taking from the capacitor which is connected across the drain, and here this positive is connected to the CRO probe, and negative of the CRO probe is connected to ground. And now you can see the output waveform here. Input is a sinusoidal waveform, output is also a sinusoidal waveform. Now here I didn't change this volts per division in this channel 1. So now you can observe here 50 millivolts, this is the division. But earlier for the input on y-axis we have only 1 unit, but now you can observe how many units are there here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 units. So that means 4.5 into 50 millivolts. So that is what is happening here. The magnitude of the signal is increased here. So earlier the magnitude is having only 1 unit in the y-axis, now at the output. That means when you connect this in sinusoidal 50 millivolts signal to the circuit, FET amplifier circuit, so this circuit is amplifying, that is it is strengthening the weak signal which is a 50 millivolt signal into a larger amplitude signal. Now you can observe this larger amplitude signal in the CRO. So that means this FET amplifier circuit is amplifying the weak signal. Now in order to plot the frequency response, now we have to set the frequency in the function generator. So for different frequencies in the function generator, that is for different frequencies of the input signal, we have to note down the magnitude of the output voltage, and then you can calculate the gain by using the formula gain is equal to V0 by Vi. Here Vi, amplitude of the input signal is fixed, but we are changing only the frequency. So amplitude is 50 millivolts peak to peak for the input voltage. So here while writing the value of V0, you have to consider the peak to peak value of the output voltage, because both should be the same. If input is peak to peak, output should be peak to peak. So if input is peak voltage, output should be peak voltage. And after calculating this gain, you can calculate the gain in terms of dBs. That is by applying 20 log to this gain. 20 log V0 by Vi, then you will get the gain in terms of dB. And after noting these values for a different frequency, output voltage and gain, now you can plot the frequency response curve. So this is the frequency response curve, that is gain of the amplifier on y-axis and frequency on x-axis. And in order to draw this frequency response, we use a semi-log graph. And by increasing the frequency, this is the ideal graph we have taken here. So in this ideal graph, now you can observe initially the gain will be increasing at lower frequencies, and it is constant at mid frequencies, and it is decreasing at higher frequencies. Now we have to measure the bandwidth. So this bandwidth is measured between the cutoff frequencies. Here that means what is the maximum gain that we obtain. So that is in the mid frequency range. So that mid band gain. So from that mid band gain you have to subtract 3 dB. So let us suppose here it is 43 dB. Mid band gain is 43 dB, and wherever you have 40 dB, so that is 43 minus 3, that will be 40 dB. So at 40 dB of the gain, now you have to take the frequencies. So that frequencies are lower cutoff frequency and upper cutoff frequency denoted as F1 and F2. Now the difference between these cutoff frequencies will give the bandwidth. That means, so this is the range of frequencies over which the gain of the amplifier is almost constant. Now our job is to plot this graph. So in order to plot this graph, I need frequency and also gain. So we have to note down the values of these frequency and gain. So in order to calculate the gain, first we have to note down the output voltage. So for different frequencies, we have to note down the output voltage. So I require only the magnitude, so therefore it is better if you put it in the XY mode. Now I am starting from frequencies here. From 20 Hz. So around 20 Hz. Now we have to note down the magnitude. By using X position and Y position, now you can adjust the waveform, and on Y axis it is having 1, 2 and 3. So around 3 units. So at 20 Hz frequency, now the output amplitude is 3 into, and on volts per division we have 50 millivolts. So 3 into 50 millivolts. And similarly we have to find the output voltage for different frequencies. Now around 100 Hz, the magnitude you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, around 4.5, 100 Hz, 4.5 into 50 millivolts. So similarly we have to note down the frequencies, output voltage up to 1 megahertz. So here are the readings for different frequencies. I have noted down the output voltage, and from the output voltage I have calculated the gain V0 by Vi. So here V0 is equal to 2.66 into 50 millivolts by 50 millivolts. So 50 will be cancelled and gain is 2.6. And by applying 20 log for this, we will get 8.29. Similarly for different frequencies, different output voltages, and you can see the gain and also gain in terms of dB. Now from this observation table, now you can see here as the frequency is increasing from 20 to 1 megahertz. Now you can see here initially the gain of the amplifier is increasing and it is constant in the mid frequencies, and at higher frequencies the gain is decreasing. Now we have to draw this with the help of semi-log graph. So in the semi-log graph, so now you can see this is the semi-log graph. Now on x-axis we are taking the frequency, on y-axis we are taking the gain in terms of dB, and for every division, so the frequency will be multiplied by 10. So that means when you start at 10, the next division will be 100, and then 100 into 10, that is 1000, that is 1k, and later 10k, then 100k and 1000k, that is 1 megahertz. And on y-axis, as my maximum gain is around 14 dB here. Now here on y-axis I am taking in terms of 2. So for each unit 2 units. So on y-axis 1 unit is equal to 2 dB. So for each unit you can increment it by 2 dB. So initially from 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay. And now you can see here at 20 Hz the gain is around 8.29. So here at 20 Hz, so 20 Hz, so this is 10 Hz. Now between, you can see here we have the division from 10 to 100. Now when it is starting from 10, so whenever you can see here 2, that is a multiplication factor. So that means 10 into 2, 10 into 2, that means it is 20. And similarly this is 10 into 3, 30, 10 into 4, 40, 10 into 5, 50, 10 into 6, 60, and so on. And here 10 into 10, that becomes 100. Now here 2, that means 20. At 20 Hz this is around 8.29, and similarly at 50 Hz, now you can see around 11, 50 Hz 11, and next at 70 Hz 12.46 here, and next at 100 Hz 12.89. And similarly here all the points you have to indicate on the semi-log graph. And then now we have to draw the smooth curve joining all these points. So this is actually the frequency response plot or frequency response curve for this FET amplifier. Now here the maximum gain is 14.3 dB. Maximum gain is 14.3 dB, and in order to calculate the bandwidth we have to take minus 3 dB. So that means 14.3 minus 3 dB, that means 11.3 dB. So that means at 11.3 now we have to draw the line. So this is 10, 10.4, 10.8, and here around 11.3. Now the coincidence points of this 11.3 dB. So this is maximum 14.3 minus 3 dB. So that is 11.3 dB line. So these coincident points will give the cutoff frequencies. Here this frequency is the lower cutoff frequency. So that is F1. And this frequency is the upper cutoff frequency, that is F2. Now let us write the values of these cutoff frequencies. Here F1 is equal to, what is the value of F1? So this is around 5. So 10 into 5, that is 50 Hz, and F2. So this point, this is 100K into multiplication factor here is 5. So that is 500K, 500 kilohertz. So now bandwidth is equal to, upper cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency, F2 minus F1. So F2 is 500 kilohertz minus 50 Hz. So that means it is 499.9 kilohertz. So that means approximately the bandwidth is 500 kilohertz.